Hey guys, Corey again. Today I'm going to go over an output from Air, which is the post call data output. And that is a webhook that is generated inside your account when a call ends. So I won't go into exactly how to set it up inside of Air, but you set up a webhook inside of Air and you send it somewhere. One of the most common methods for or places to host this is um, for the webhook to go to is to something like Go High Level or to Zapier or Make. Anyhow, so those are some variables on the other end of this. So I'm just going to kind of walk through what's available when the call ends. So this is the post call data webhook, and it's built inside of Air. Of course, it is doing so it's once a call is completed, so it's post call, and this information is filled out by the system, by Air, and sent to whatever endpoint you want it to go to as a post. So let's see. Yeah, the trigger event is once the phone call is placed through Air and is answered by a person, that call will now end up with a conclusion of this post being fired, this webhook being fired. So the fields that are inside of it, the overall thing is a call. The SID comes from inside of Air, and I believe that is the session ID from Air, and you could probably trace that one back to a particular instance and recording. The LLM answered by a human. This will always say human. I watched the video up here, and I guess this one's hard coded to human. The call recording is located here at this URL. Whoop, wow. Just got a new computer today and it's pretty darn fast. It moves quickly. The to number and the from number, those two, it's important to consider those when you also by understanding this particular one. The direction was outbound. So in this case, it's outbound from with respect to Air. So that means that this is the phone number that it's being sent to, called to. This is the customer. This is the lead. This is the contact. Versus this is what Air is calling from. In this case, outbound. So if you were using logic on this, you want to make sure that you um, take a look at the outbound versus inbound, because that would change who the customer was, who the contact was. So if we change that to inbound, then the from number is the customer or the client versus Air, which would then be this one. So duration this is in seconds, 44 seconds. Campaign ID, apparently there was not a campaign, so it must have been a test or done another way, like an API call. So I would assume that the campaign ID would be filled in at that point. You'd be able to tie that back to whichever campaign. This is the lead's name, so some way, somehow, it either came from a list or when they called in, was captured here as the cached lead name. You can use that in this case, it would have come from a list or from the data, the call data going into it. Here's the transcript. This is your opportunity right here to put to post-process this transcript and get the information out of it for a summary, for looking for specific data points, looking for specific keywords, or any other thing along those lines. So that would be the section you'd process right there's the transcript. And then this is the date and time that it was created. Lead data, not quite sure what that one is, set to null in this case, and then some headers down here. These headers, there wasn't a clear definition on what those were. Let's see if it says anything down here. Nope. It doesn't look like there's information on what the headers are. So yeah, this is kind of walking through those things. This is the metadata. Started here, ended there. This is the call, and then the call starts and ends here. Headers start and end there. So just data label pairs. or data value pairs. So yeah, data label rather. This is the data, that's the label, and the definitions are all down here. This you can find at the stoplight.io, Air.ai. I think everyone's got access to it, but certainly we do as agency partners have access to this information. This is just part of the internal documentation for the the interface for Air, the programmatic interface for Air. So there was one other thing. Oh, okay. So we talked about the lead data. Campaign ID and lead data were both null on this. So let's see what that's defined as. Campaign ID, campaign ID, value of null means the call was initiated through the API or a role play. So yeah, that's kind of what I assumed there was it was an API or role play. That's what that means. So it wasn't, you can't tie it back to a campaign ID. And then lead data. Null in this example, indicating there's no extra data or not relevant for this particular call. Any metadata you would initiate the call with would appear inside this property. Yeah, definitely not clear what that means. Additional data about the lead. So not quite sure what that is. There is, Tyler did a video on how to set that up, how to create the webhook, and then he does an example with Go High Level. So creating a flow inside of Go High Level to kind of process either an inbound or outbound and making sure that it uses the logic to get the phone number correct on the call from and to number. See if it's the Air integration webhook page. So there's more information on that. But oh yeah, let's talk about the bearer token. So one of the things when you create this, it's not in the output here, but when you actually create this post call data webhook, you have a bearer token field, and it's 16 characters or longer, and you can put anything in there that would help you. The bearer token just helps you identify that it came from Air because it's your specific code that you use. Now, it's not like super security, but it's a little bit better to be able to identify, at least someone's got to spend some time to figure out what your bearer token might be by monitoring packets, etc. Anyhow, this just it's a security measure to help you recognize and sign your message with just some unique information that you put in there. It's certainly not like a header encryption kind of thing with public key encryption or anything like that. But it's recommended to use a real token for production setups. That I'm not sure exactly. I think I'm gonna have to do some research to find out exactly what the real token is. But from what it looks like, you can just put anything in there that is 16 characters or longer, and that will work. And you can test it on the other side to make sure that that bearer token has the right information before you process the flow. Anyhow, if you need help on this, contact support at Air.ai. They are always available, and of course they give priority support to agency partners such as myself or anyone that's working with me, anyone that's made an account under my link. They give priority support to that. They also give priority support or priority servers. So we have agency partner servers available to us and anyone that we're working with on our link. I'll have some links below just explaining that a little bit more. But here's one piece of the data that you get at the end of every call that is successful when a human has answered. So if you don't have, it would be hard coded to human. If you don't have a human that answered, you won't. The post call outcome would be basically a fail. So, or whatever it is they have for a negative, and this wouldn't be sent. So anyway, that's the analysis for today. And again, check out the information below, the links below, and we'll talk to you later.